Altcoin season has started and some altcoins are already popping, going up 50, 100, couple of 100%, making multiples already. And some of the altcoins are not yet in that territory, potentially even good buys. Many months ago, 8 months ago, 9 months ago, we made some videos about altcoins that could potentially do well. And I want to revisit those altcoin picks and see how they're doing and if they're still worth buying and maybe ready to explode right now, or if they've already gone up since then and made tremendous multiples. So this is what we are going to talk about today. So make sure to stay tuned for Vechain, for Arweave, for Chiliz, for OpenFabric AI, Chiliz, Mcade, and many, many more. So make sure to stay tuned all the way through. So we are here on my YouTube channel, and as you can see, these videos are from 8 months ago, from some of them 9 months ago, and here we have basically covered all the time, as you can see, Vechain. Here we have introduced Chiliz and Mcade. Here we have been talking about Arweave as well. Arweave, a pick of a lot of months before that already. So if you go past these videos here, we have been covering all of those. And now I want to revisit the picks from these videos here. Top 5 altcoins to buy, or top 5 altcoins to explode. Videos that we made long time ago. So let's first revisit what the altcoins are doing right now. And we see that looks more like an altcoin season than everything that we have seen in the months before, right? All the coins up like 80%, 50%, 60%, HBAR 108%. So a lot of coins that are already popping. Now, if we're looking at the altcoin indicator, we can see right now that we are definitely in the altcoin season territory, and we just blasted through it as Bitcoin dominance fell off of a cliff. And today I saw a really deceiving, a really bad post about telling people to sell here because every time we hit this territory, basically then altcoin season would be over, indicating that this piece here would have been the last altcoin season a while ago. But if you look carefully, we are here in January 2024, and that was only our little altcoin pop that we had after the spot Bitcoin ETF approval, and then we fell into a longer bear market territory. So then don't get confused by stupid stuff that is out there on Twitter and somewhere else, because you can see that real altcoin season takes way longer. It's not super long, so we need to be careful to take our profits. But had you taken profits just in this pop up right like here, you would have not made many gains, right? In fact, this pop started in the end of March and went all the way until June, end of June. So March until end of June, that's about 3 months duration. So we just entered this zone, but that also means potentially we're looking at 3 months of altcoin season, and that would coincide with the prediction that we might top out at this pace, at this velocity in early next year, somewhere in February, March, somewhere there and thereabout. So let's look at this here. Bitcoin dominance is falling off. The altcoins are moving accordingly. That is what brought us into that territory. What you see here, if you're asking what these lines are, this is how it could look if we fall off. It's basically a minuscule copy from here, right? That resembles the same drop-off that we had here. This is our past altcoin season. Everything in between was not a real altcoin season, right? Or the small drop-offs that led to some altcoin pumps is not altcoin season. Only these big dumps are altcoin season. When Bitcoin dominance is really falling off of a cliff because money rotates into the altcoins, therefore shifting the percentages around in the crypto space, leading to less allocation in Bitcoin and much, much more allocation in altcoins. But let's look at this. So total 2, which means everything except Bitcoin in the crypto market cap, is now approaching all-time high. It in fact is reaching all-time high at this present moment, and there could be a sideways or a rejection to be expected, meaning that money goes out of what comprises this market cap, or what adds to this market cap. And that is mainly the top 10 big coins that are not part of the others chart, which I am going to show you in a second. So what that means is that XRP and Ethereum and Solana, that money might come out of these at this rejection point here where the previous all-time high was, and rotate into the smaller coins. Basically, people say, okay, I have made a 5x on XRP, let me take some profits and rotate that into other coins, which automatically leads to this going a little bit sideways. At the same time, you have everything that is below the top 10 popping and not yet reached the all-time high. So we really see, okay, there's more money that is flowing in here, or that needs to flow in here to get this to all-time high and then beyond. And I think this is only the beginning, because passing all-time high, even in this chart or in this chart, it means there will be price discovery, very, very likely. If you're looking again at where this Bitcoin dominance is currently, we see that there's a long way to go all the way down. So there might be price discovery, or very likely there is price discovery. Now let's look at the altcoins that I was talking about. Vechain, one of the picks, has completely exploded already. We went in a matter of a couple of days, 29 days, 310%. Clean 4x on the breakout. We covered it on this channel. And basically, when we talked about it, we talked about it all the way here, like all the way down here. We rode all of this wave, took all of the FUD. On the longer time frame though, if we're looking at Vechain on the monthly chart here without all lines, we can see that we have just broken out of a massive cup and handle pattern, and you will see this pattern all across the other altcoins as well. So Vechain very likely is going to run at least to its all-time high before it gets any major resistance, or at least, yeah, maybe that's not true. Maybe we are going to encounter resistance right here as we're doing, and then also maybe here at these little highs. But overall, I think Vechain is going to revisit its old all-time high and potentially surpass it. If you're looking at this pattern, also is pretty bullish setup. Then Arweave is the next pick. We have covered Arweave all the way down. Actually, we already talked about here in the beginning of 23 when I was in Brazil in January 23 that Arweave might be a good pick for the next bull run. So there was the possibility to DCA down here, but as always in this phase, no one is interested in that until it pops. And then it popped, and it did wildly. So it's up 12x, or this was up 12x. Right now it is actually only up from the bottom rough 7.5x, 630% where we are right now. I expect this to revisit the previous high here, which was from the ETF phase or post ETF run that we had, right? And with that, maybe even forming a larger cup and handle pattern. Again, we have the same setup, and we will see it in almost all the other coins that we're looking at in some shape or form. It's just gearing up to explode completely. And I think that is what I'm going to wait with the majority of the profits to see how this plays out. And then, wait for this big blowout. Next coin on my list is Chiliz. And if we're looking at Chiliz on a monthly, we see this is the run up of the last bull run. We have just been consolidating, or at least we're forming somewhat of a reversal pattern maybe here, but it's also not out. What we see is that also here we have this kind of a W formation that resembles a little bit cup and handle, only that it has a lower wick here on the downside. But overall, I think also Chiliz will at some point break resistance and come up. Maybe Chiliz will move in a little bit different way here and take longer to come out of the slump. But also Chiliz is moving, and I think it will do great in this cycle again. Next up, Chappies. Chappies is one of this cycle new coins, right? It has launched about November 23, so in the middle of the bear market. Unlocks happened, it's trickling down. I bought more here, actually not on the bottom, but on this breakout I bought a little bit more. It's an absolute wild card. That thing has not even $3 million market cap right now. In my opinion, it broke out, it retested, and now it wants to blast off here. This for me is a wild card, couple of $100, hoping for at least a 10x, maybe more, right? 10x would be 20 million, 100x would be 200 million, all reasonable market caps. We will see how it plays out. But that one is for sure something where I would say if you would look at the fundamentals, you do your analysis, due diligence, everything, and you see a chart like this, well, maybe that could be a buy. But you decide what to do with your money. I decide what I do with my money, and I'm betting a couple of $100 on this project. Next up is Open Fabric AI, also something of this cycle. AI play, extremely small, only $20 million market cap. We have covered it here. We had a nice run up, felt really good. I think it was 600% or so. Let's see quickly what the run up was. 500%. And then it completely got sold off by whoever had this from the launch. And now what I see is, again, this type of pattern, right? You see how this always repeats in all the smaller coins, gearing up for a potential breakout here, at least coming up to this previous high, and then we will see what other chart formation is coming up. Also a very small pick, also extremely risky. We're very likely losing our money, but in case we don't, it might be a big deal. Next up, Mcade, right? Many people bullish on Mcade. Mcade is a little bit bigger already, but also not too big. I think it's also somewhere around the 30-40 million, not even maybe. And you see here is also from the cycle. It recently launched April 23 or something like that. Underwent some pretty nasty phase where it only went sideways, never did anything. But if I look at the broader picture, I see the same pattern emerging again. Basically, if we close this, ready for potentially breaking out here at some point, maybe a question of weeks. But I cannot help but recognize the same patterns all over again. So if we're looking at Bitcoin right now, maybe Bitcoin moves and the altcoins pull back at the same time, right? But in total, like this would be the matter of days or weeks, right? Bitcoin does its thing, then money flows back into the altcoins. I'm not worried at all about this. And it seems that Bitcoin wants to go for 2 or 3 months more until it hits its top, potentially. Maybe it takes longer. Now you could say, well, you're talking about Ecomi all the time. You're not talking about Ecomi right now as a potential good pick and whatnot. The reason for this is that, yes, Ecomi is breaking out right now, as we've been covering in the morning at Crypto Morning Coffee, but and printing a big fat candle with a wick. But I want to really wait this 1 hour and 6 minutes or so to see how this candle closes, and then I want to see also the next days, because what we have witnessed in the last times that these big candles happened, you see it also here, is you have this big candle up, an hour or so before the candle closes, it gets all sold off until down here, and then the rest gets sold off the following days, 2 days or so, right? We have seen it here, we saw it here in smaller, we saw it here, we saw it up here, and there are many, many more examples. So why am I cautious here? Because I know that this coin is heavily played by whales. This breakout seems nice. We have been covering this pattern here, inverse head and shoulders, right? Very clean drawing here on my side, but you get the idea. This trend line here broke out, bam. Now we are at the upper side of this mega falling wedge. So we basically came back inside. The volume on this breakout is also good, which looks better than all the other ones before, but still I want to be cautious. I want to see, and we have the time to see what's actually happening with this candle, right? So Ecomi is not making the list really here from the coins that have been doing well or that are forming a bullish setup, because overall we don't really see it, right? It's only going down. We see this breakout, volume support here, okay, fine, but we want to see more. We want to see that this actually can hold stable, right? That this doesn't go in this direction again. And that is only time will tell, and we should be patient waiting for that. Now, If you enjoy these types of updates, then please let me know by smashing up the like button, subscribe to this channel, notifications on, and wherever you are on the world, have a great morning, evening, day, night, or afternoon. See you in the next video or live stream. Bye.